in the past week, the media has been focusing heavily, once again, on Muslims. Some for right reasons, and some for the wrong reasons. And it would be wrong if we did not mention these things in the khutbah, because this is the al-mawqif, al-bayan, this is the time where we explain, where we clarify to those who are here what Islam really says on these issues that people now are talking about in the media, in the TV, in the radio stations, in the newspapers, and on the internet. Two issues, inshallah, we're going to talk about in this khutbah to clarify what Muslims, what we think, inshallah, for those who need to be clarified too, and for those listening, inshallah, on the recording. The first thing is this issue of halal. Halal food. If you're watching TV, if you're watching news, now you're seeing reports of halal. Halal food, halal food, halal food. And it's as if it's only just come about now. And if you are looking at the newspapers, you're finding that they're now sort of criticizing. Once again, the Muslims are being criticized. Once again, the Muslims are being analyzed. Once again, the Muslims are being scrutinized. Nothing new. I'm fed up now of papers like the Daily Mail constantly criticizing Muslims. Constantly criticizing Muslims. And I'm fed up of newspapers like The Sun. Constantly criticizing Muslims. Front page headlines, making us look like we're a bunch of lunatics. And really, anybody reading these newspapers, you should have shame on yourselves. Reading this rubbish, this garbage. And I hope they're listening. These newspapers don't have best interests of their readers at heart, nor of anybody else. This issue now of halal food and how now people at restaurants are now fooling people into eating this halal meat and causing people distress and causing people to misunderstand what it's all about. As if they're being fed poison. And now on the news they're saying, they're interviewing people, what do you think of eating halal food? I don't like it. I don't want it. What's it all about? And if we look at what does halal mean, for those who don't know. What does halal mean? And many of us maybe here don't even know what it means. The first thing, Muslims should be eating halal. That's a given. Anybody eating non-halal food, stop. Fear Allah, have shame on yourself. You should not be eating haram meat. Whether you want to use any of the fatwa, that many fatwa now are saying you can eat the food that's not halal, Ahl Kitab, and so forth. You want to do this, you want to follow this road, you and your deeds, and Yawm al-Qiyamah, you face Allah with those deeds and your sins. But we eat halal. We eat halal. But what does halal mean? Halal means that the animal that we're going to slaughter, that it is slaughtered in a specific way. Not gassed in the chamber, like some animals are done. Not battered to death. Not shot in the head with a gun. Not drowned, like some do. Not electrocuted to death. And they want to say to that, we're inhuman. We are barbaric. That's what they're saying. You want to look at the abattoirs, how they look after these animals. How they pack these animals together in a very disgusting way. And they want to criticize now that the way we slaughter is inhumane. And they feed animals, sometimes they feed animals, other animals. What does halal mean? Halal means that the animal, the throat is cut swiftly, very quickly, painlessly, with a sharp knife by a person of the Islamic faith. So that the al-hulqum and the windpipe, the two pipes, one for how an animal breathes, and the pipe in which the animal eats and drinks, these two are cut very quickly. And we know in the hadith, our Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, you want to talk about animal rights. You want to talk about animal rights because this is the time we clarify. Our Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when he saw a person taking a knife in front of the animal and going into the animal, and the animal was looking terrified, scared, the Prophet forbade this. He told the man, stop doing this. You're going to kill this animal marratayn. You're going to kill this animal twice. One, out of fear. And the second is when you kill it. And you're going to kill it twice. This is what you want to talk about. How we Muslims are barbaric to animals. Look, this is our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And when you take the knife, you hide the knife. You take the animal away from the abattoir in which animals don't see it. And then you lie it down. And some of the ulama say you tie the legs together. And you leave one leg to be relaxed. And you quickly, very quickly, you take the knife out and you cut. Very quickly, and you let the blood go out. Now you want to look at what scientists, because now these people are now saying, this is inhumane, this is barbaric, this is pain, too much pain, this is causing all these type of things. When you look at what the scientists say, those who are not have a funding by people of an agenda, they say that it's painless. And some people, some of the scientists who study these things in America and safe universities have said that cutting the animal, it's almost like you're stunning it. It feels no pain. And there's some different opinion amongst the Muslim scholars. Do we stun animals or not? Some of the ulama say if you stun an animal, that you don't kill it, and then you slaughter it, this is okay. And some ulama say no, there's ikhtilaf on this issue. But the all muttafaqeen agree that you can't stun an animal until it's dead, and then you slaughter it. There's no point. So this issue in which certain restaurants, alhamdulillah, are serving halal meat for the local people, this is just a good thing, this is a tolerant thing. And this shows respect, and we should respect them. That they've managed to look after us and save us food. Although some of them want some money, but at the same time they're providing a service for the Muslims. We should say alhamdulillah, but at the same time we have these really evil newspapers. Nothing else to say. Racist. I don't like using the word racist. Wallahi, I don't like using the word racist, but nothing else to say about newspapers like the Daily Mail and the Sun, but being racist. Because if there's any other faith, if it was the Jewish faith, this wouldn't last. But Muslims, easy target. Say what you want about the Muslims. Criticize the Muslims. Call them what you want. Make lies and no one's saying it. And this newspaper, the Sun, nothing new. They're not just targeting Muslims. Even the Hillsborough disaster, they lied about those people as well. We should not be reading these newspapers. And if it was up to me, we'd be boycotting these newspapers. Not that that's going to make an effect on the market. But these newspapers we should try and avoid. Stop reading this rubbish, this garbage. And these newspapers, they have no respect, even for women, which is what we're going to talk about the next issue. What's happened now in Nigeria, this group that wants to call themselves Boko Haram or whatever it means, the only word that really matters in that term is haram, because everything they're doing is haram, in which they've insahat al-akhbar. They've kidnapped 200 or more young women, mostly Muslim, and some of them aren't Muslim, not that matters. And they're now taking them, and it's been 3 weeks that no one's seen or heard of our sisters. And now in Sahat al-Akhbar, they're now going to sell them into slavery. This is haram. This is haram, haram, haram. And any harming of any human being, let alone an animal. If our Prophet did not want to even harm an animal, how much more so for a human being? And these innocent girls, we ask Allah Azza wa Jalla, Allah save these innocent young girls. But this issue now of human trafficking is not something specific to that issue. We find that there's people taking women and selling them into slaves for sexual needs. This is a big problem now. And don't think that the Muslim countries aren't involved in this. Unfortunately, Muslim countries are involved. Allah Azza wa Jalla, our Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, gave animals their rights and gave women their rights as well. Women are to be respected. Allah has honored the women. Allah in the Quran has given a whole chapter called An-Nisa, Surah An-Nisa. And another chapter, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has named a whole chapter in the Quran after Mary, the mother of Jesus. And we know in the hadith, the saying of our Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, in which the Prophet is showing you the honor of a mother. The man said to the Prophet, who has more right to my companionship, my suhbah? And the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Ummuka, your mother. Your mother has more right to your companionship. Then who has more right after my mother? The Prophet then said, your mother. And then the man said, then who has more right after that? It was the Prophet said, your mother again. 3 times your mother has great responsibility, has a greater need for your respect and your attention and your love. And your suhb, your companionship. 3 times. Is this not honoring women? You tell me, is Islam not honoring a woman? So people are now saying Islam dishonors women, disrespects women. Our Prophet said 3 times that heaven, in one hadith, heaven is underneath the feet of your mother. Give me one hadith in which it says Jannah is underneath the feet of a man. There's none. But Jannah is under the feet of your mother. Respect for women. So this thing that these Khawarij in Nigeria are trying to do now, destabilize and cause problems. We ask Allah Azza wa Jalla, Allah removes all traces. Allah guides them first. And then removes all traces of their shar in that land, inshaAllah ta'ala. So these 2 things, halal meat and this issue of what's happening now in Nigeria. And only when we mention these things because so much media attention has been put on these things that we need to clarify to the Muslims. What do we say on these issues? When animals are slaughtered humanely. And one reporter, subhanAllah, he said, halal is when the throat is cut and the blood is let out with certain conditions. And the man said, do we find any other way of slaughtering? The vast majority of animals here are slaughtered in that way. There's really no other way that you can slaughter wholesale. This is the only way that most people like to slaughter. So what's the problem now? It's just being racist. Just hating Muslims, easy target, Islamophobia. And now we have these, European elections now. These things are getting heated up. Our response is education. Our response is education. Our response is following our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Our response is following our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Our response is when people want to know more about these issues, and we explain to them what does Islam say about halal and why halal. Even scientifically, it's good for the animal. And if you don't want to eat, go vegetarian. But don't start criticizing Muslims because of the way we eat. And you want to keep silent about other religions, how they slaughter. Because we, quote unquote, or any political power, so to speak. So the debate isn't about animals and their welfare. And the debate isn't about ritual slaughter, but the debate is just want to attack Muslims. And we don't respond by attacking. We respond by having rahmah and having da'wah, and we explain in the correct way, whether it's in our khutbahs, or in our classes, or in our shops. We just be good Muslims, inshaAllah ta'ala, and we show them what Islam's all about. Those who have sincerity will understand. Those who want, and as many people want to understand, and those who just want to sell newspapers and cause problems and just racist and just hate for no other reason than it's hating itself, then we ask Allah to guide them, inshaAllah ta'ala. اعلموا عباد الله أنه لا ينفع الإنسان في هذا الزمان مثل هذه الخصال